Hey, what's up guys? Philip here bringing you a product first impressions, and today we're going to be checking out two products that Homgeek, not sure how to pronounce it exactly, sent over my way. We have a stainless steel kitchen knife set as well as a multi-purpose hand blender. Alright, so starting off with the hand blender, it looks like it's fairly simple packaging. You have a few images on the back here. Not too much information here, except on this side we have like how strong the motor is and all that. So this is the first product you see, and you can see that this is some sort of stick extender that attaches to the motor, which should be right here. And this is the motor part, which this attaches to. And you just simply click it in like that, and it's ready to go. And then we also have a whisker as well as this mount that the whisker attaches to. And this is where the multi-purpose part kicks in. You can either use it as a blender here, or you can remove this part and use it as a whisker. So pretty cool to have a 2-in-1 feature going on here. So the way you attach the blender or the whisk to the motor is pretty simple. They both have this black part that attaches to the motor, and it simply just goes in. You can see these two little cutouts, and they clip in with the cutouts here near the buttons. And you can hear that little click right there. And the way you take it out is by pushing both buttons simultaneously. So one with your thumb and one with your finger, and it comes right out. And then you can swap it out for the whisk. It's that simple. So the way you actually operate this thing is you push the power button and it spins. So I'm gonna hold the power button and it spins like that. If you simply push it, it's not going to stay on, so I'm guessing that's a safety feature. The way the turbo button works is the same way, and if I push it, it's the same thing, but the turbo is pretty much maxing out the motor, and you're going to have a lot of blending power. Now, what the dial on top does is adjust how strong the power button spins. So if we have it on setting number 1 and push it, we can see how it spins, but if we bump it up to number 6, which is maxed out, it's a little bit stronger. And you can kind of dial this thing in if you want something super strong, weaker, and you can get it perfectly how you want, and if you want a lot of power or a little bit of power. Something to note is that if you max this thing out and push the power button, it's strong, but the turbo button is stronger than this maxed out. And it's pretty much the same thing with the whisker as well. In terms of the motor control, you just plug it in and power spins it like that, and then the turbo button spins it even harder. Alright, so we covered the blender, and now we're gonna get into the knife set and check out what sort of knives we had included. So if you look at the box here, you can see it's fairly straightforward, nothing too fancy here. A beautiful picture with the Homgeek logo. What sort of knives and scissors are included. On the back, it's the same as the front. And then on the side here, you can see a few quick tips and just basic instructions on how to use the knives. Now, if we open the box here, we have this big box, which is most likely gonna have all the knives. And then we're gonna have the wooden block that stores all of the knives. And if you take a closer look at this wooden block, you can see that it is constructed fairly well. It looks like pretty high quality wood here. I'm not sure if this is using real wood or not, but I'm digging the way this thing is constructed. It doesn't feel cheap, and it feels like it has good construction quality. So we let out all of the knives and included parts out on the table here, and you can see there's quite a large collection of items that you're gonna have. So you're gonna have scissors for the kitchen, which is gonna be handy for a lot of random use cases. A knife sharpener, which you can sharpen the knives without teeth. There are a few teeth ones, and the first set of teeth knives you're gonna get are the steak knives, and you're gonna get 6 of them total. And then the second knife you're gonna have is the chef's knife, and every knife has some text on it saying what the knife is designed for to be used on. And then the other knife you're gonna have is a sentoku knife. Then you're gonna have a knife that's for slicing. All of these are obviously for slicing, but some of them are just designed perfectly to cut specific things. The next knife we're going to have is a bread knife. Very handy, probably going to be one of the more commonly used knives. A utility knife, which is pretty good for all around if you just need a knife for a lot of random things. And then a paring knife. And this is going to be a small knife, and it's going to be good for things like peeling things, perhaps apples or other things in the kitchen that you need peeled. So we got all the knife sets in, and something that I noticed just now is that the larger knives here have a little bit of text. If you look closely here, you can see this one says paring knife, chef's knife, santoku knife, bread knife, and slicing knife. Pretty cool that you can just read the text and see what the knife is designed to be used for instead of pulling it out and trying to find the right knife. And then all of the bottom knives, these are steak knives, and you know, you don't really need text on these. You just know that the bottom row are the steak knives. Now let's do a little bit of a cutting test to see how some of these new knives compare against our old knife that is like 5+ years old. Okay, so first we're gonna be trying out our old kitchen knife to cut this apple. Now if I simply just hold my knife on there without applying too much pressure, it doesn't really cut, and it's kind of like sliding around. Like the knife just doesn't want to stick. And this knife is dull and it could be sharpened, but every time we sharpen it, it just doesn't last long and it doesn't cut as sharp as it used to. Now this knife, if we do a little bit of a like slide test, it doesn't slide that much. And it's kind of like stuck on the apple. Like if I start barely just moving my fingers, it's already starting to cut. And you could see, you may not see it on camera, but it left like this cut over here. And with this one, I have to like really apply a lot of pressure and put my back into it. So let's do a little cut here. Let's just push down on it. Very easy. Now let's try doing it with the old knife over here. So here it's like I'm having a hard time gripping it. Okay, I got it. And I have to apply so much more pressure to get the cut. It's much harder with the old knife. So after finding a knife that was similar to our old one, which is this one here, and this is called the utility knife, this one cut much better than our old one. Both of these products are not super expensive name brands, but they're not really cheap either. They perform quite well. This knife set runs for $60, which is pretty cheap for the quality of knives that you're getting here. A lot of quality knife sets out there run for like $200, $300, $400 for the set, but this one here runs for $70 as of making this video. And the blender runs for roughly $35-ish. So in total, you're looking around like $90 to $100 for two tools that are pretty much essential for any kitchen out there. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for a starter set to get you started in the kitchen, I would highly recommend going with this Homgeek combo. And I'm gonna leave the links down in the description below pointing to Amazon on where you can purchase these, or if you just wanna see some more information. And with that being said, if you have any questions, comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.